Welcome, everyone. It's Melissa D with Body Joy Intimacy School, and I've been waiting to have this guest on for a few years now. Our guest tonight or today, depending on where you are in the world, has just been featured all over the place. This woman is bold and powerful and an inspiration in my life and my growth as a sex educator. I just got goosebumps. She is out there with her company, Back to the Body, which hosts these amazing retreats for women. She's been featured on Oprah, CNN, New York Times. The list goes on. And as I was looking, well, let's first introduce her and I'll tell you more about that. But give a warm welcome to Pamela Madsen.
I am just so slutty. I mean, I am like really, really slutty. So there we go. And I just hit my share button. So we should be live on my page too. So we want to invite everybody in. But yeah, when you read that introduction, I just been everywhere. I'm like, oh, you have to tell everybody? I thought that was between us, Melissa.
Well, I was looking, you know what, I first heard about you many years ago, but then it came back around with the woman who started Body Joy, Charlotte Hathaway. She mentioned like, oh my gosh, I love Pamela so much. And she actually had one of your books on the bookshelf and I grabbed it up. I was like, oh, I've been wanting to actually read this. So it's How I Ditched the Diet, Got Naked, Found True Pleasure, and somehow got home in time to cook dinner. The book's Shameless.
Thank you. Thank you. I actually stayed with Charlotte during my book tour. When I was touring through Austin, she put us up for a few nights and it was really a lot of fun. I think Betty Martin was there too, working on her book. So
I think there's a picture of the three of you together.
They actually may be. It's iconic.
It's iconic.
At some point it could be worth lots and lots of money. So it's really fun to be on with you and play with you and be after hours with you. It sounds so sexy and like we're going to be talking about things that we normally wouldn't be talking about during daytime hours. So what do you want to talk about, Melissa?
I want to talk about a lot of things, but the direction of our call or our discussion today is all about sexual boredom, because I imagine there's a lot of that you talk to around this topic. And actually, I just had a client in the studio today that talked about being bored with their partner that had been together for many years, and also a boredom that may come, just, hey, I've been there, done that. What else is there?
Yeah, and it's so funny because, just like the word hysteria, right, was used to describe what was natural, right? Low libido is actually the medical term for boredom. Okay, so I don't believe anyone really has low libido. I don't buy low libido. I buy, wow, I'm bored. Oh, right. I'm so bored. There he is on the couch and scratching his nuts. Yeah, I am so bored and scrolling the Netflix, hot time tonight. I think that a lot of us get bored and we get bored really quickly. It's excuse me, the state of happiness. We're very interesting and difficult critters, human beings, because whatever we have that makes us happy only makes us happy for a very short period of time. And then we want more. We want different. We evolve through happiness really, really quickly. And so what do you do to not be bored? What do you do? To keep eroticism alive in your relationship, in your life, in your own body. And frankly, without erotic boredom, people like us would be out of business.
Right.
A whole field would be gone.
Yes. All the retreats gone. All the videos, all the how-tos
gone. And so, what's unfortunate is that boredom gets confused with low libido. It can get confused even with depression. Because if you're really bored, you can get sad and things can get pretty gray. And so I know in my life, to avoid sexual boredom, or any kind of boredom, I have to constantly be looking and playing and stimulating things in my life and exploring things that I haven't normally explored. Do you want to see what I'm exploring?
Yeah, show me.
Oh my God. So this just arrived.
Oh, is that a whole set?
It's an anal training kit.
Wonderful. Can you take one out? Can we see it?
Well, I haven't opened it yet.
Ooh, you can
But
open it right here.
this also came, and this also came, and this also came today. 3 sizes.
Ooh, are those all for anal pleasure or
Yeah,
different?
they're all for anal pleasure. And it's something in my life that, in all the things I've been doing in sex education, I really haven't explored. And my vagina is nice. It's been there for a few decades. And it's like, oh, what are we going to do to make things more interesting? And certainly, I have so many clients and at the retreats, who are interested in anal play. And I was like, well, what's holding you back, girl?
That's adorable. Look how sweet that is.
Look how soft. Look
Yeah.
how soft. Isn't that great?
I love the shape.
This is something that I can actually play with myself.
Right.
And then, when I can work up to this size with my partner. And so, there's how willing are you to excite yourself? How willing are you to be creative, to do things that you don't normally do? I mean, it's not always about going out and finding another partner. Sometimes sexual boredom can be relieved by literally playing with yourself.
Right.
With anticipation of playing with another partner. You want to see what else I recently got to alleviate sexual boredom?
Yes.
Okay, so I've got to move this over here.
Yes, I do.
I've been on a whole rant about this. Oh my God, Melissa. Wait, I'm right here, everybody.
Okay, watch out.
Watch out. I got stuff coming.
Anyone that's watching this live, if you have any questions or want to just play here with us, now's your chance, because this woman is really hard to wrangle.
Okay.
Okay.
So for years, I stopped playing with lingerie because I don't know, I started being bored by them. And then I decided, well, no, what could I, I'm bored, I'm home. What could I be getting into that's different? These are paints you can paint your body with. I ordered a bunch of this stuff, and I bought all these new costumes. And unfortunately, I didn't expect that I was going to be revealing all this with you. So the bags aren't open. But I was like really bored. So I was like,
Ooh.
Look at this yummy little thing.
Very nice. It's all strappy. Is that across the front?
And yeah, this is all from This Will Inspire. Anyway, what I'm saying is I went on a little shopping spree of erotic exploration because I came back from one of my own retreats, which, are very full and exciting. Came back to my husband, came back to my life, came back to my mother, came back to my cat. And I was like, ooh, oh dear. I need to keep myself juicy and alive and erotic and not bored. And so I went on this fun exploration, and some of it's in anticipation. Oh, wait, I'm grabbing one more thing. Am I getting too much?
No, I love it. You're not too much ever.
Okay, well, let's see what else And then I'm going to stop showing you things.
Okay.
Because the one thing I wanted to show you too, then I've been playing a lot for the first time in a really long time with dominance and submission. And person I play with complains a lot that I speak too early in the morning. So I got this.
You just wake up in the morning and throw that on? I love it.
You know, it's fun. It's playful. Right? You know, and so if you want to alleviate sexual boredom, don't just blame that on your partner. It's not just your partner's responsibility, right?
Right.
It's also on you. Like, what are you doing to liven things up? Like, what are you doing? Like,
ooh. Does that go across the chest?
Actually, it's just not pulled tight. It goes around your thigh.
Ooh.
Yeah, it goes around your thigh. So I've got to tell you, this amuses me. Okay, this amuses me. So this makes me less erotically bored. And, you know, tuning in sometimes to girl-friendly pornography. I love Erica Lust. Is also a way that I amuse myself erotically. And when I'm less bored, my husband's less bored. Other folks in my life are less bored. This is going to get a lot of play.
You're going to put it on your key ring and carry it around.
Yeah, this is going to get a lot of fun. And so it's like, what are you doing to surprise your partner? To be funny, you know, to be playful. Like, I can't wait to like bring this out. I mean, this is not only going to be worth a good giggle, but I bet it might lead to something.
I'm sure it will.
I can promise you, will not be boring.
I had, can I tell you a story about something that happened to me recently?
I would love that.
So I came back from a trip. So I just, you know, you and I haven't actually connected in a while, just on a one-on-one basis.
And in fact, after this, can we talk for a minute?
Yes. Yes. So I came back from a trip. I was coming back to Austin, and the room that I got in Austin it came with a king bed with this just giant headboard. I mean, you know, it's got some cat scratches. So I have no attachment to this big headboard or the base or any of that. But I came back and I was surprised with someone who had drilled in these ties on either side of my bed, and they are tucked up underneath. So you have to really like look or like reach for them. They're not just out on display. So they're kind of like hidden. And then there's some little eye hooks at the feet so I could run rope through it. So I came home to this like fun way to play with this person. And my son came in the room one morning after they'd been up in there. And he comes in and he's like, he looks in close to my pillow, and he moves the pillow really, really quick and looks at it and he goes, "What's this?" And I said, "It's just a handle." And he kind of looks at me for a second. My son's 12 years old, by the way, and he's used to seeing weird things in mom's office and bedroom. So
yes. Yeah. Mommy's kinky.
Well, you have that too, because you have two grown boys, and were they around in some of your earlier exploration, and how old were they?
Well, yes, and different.
Yeah.
You know, I think for them, like now, it's more about avoiding mommy's Instagram.
Right.
You know, it's like you don't want anything to do with your mother's social media. It's just bad.
Especially if your mom's Pamela Madsen.
Right. You know, my kids actually are in the design marketing world. They're like madmen, and they did my website, and I had to get them photos, and there was just so many different kinds of photos of demos, photos of everything. And my oldest boy, Tyler, said, just like have them curate all the photos of you, mom, that you're naked or you have your mommy orgasm face on. Like, I just really, I don't need to see that. And so I was like, I get it, not a problem. And the website's done. And then Tyler calls me and he's like, mom, just so you know, your photographer did not do such a great job curating out those photos. There will be therapy.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, they're good sports. They're really, really good sports. When they were younger and I was exploring and I wanted to be like here's the thing. There's the difference between the cool mom, right? And the weird sex educator mom. Like there's like this fine line, right? Like I know like sex educators who've invited their older children to sex parties that they were at. Like to me,
Wow.
like, that's like a little bit of creepy sex educator mom, It's just a little creepy for me. But when I was trying to be cool sex educator mom, and my kids were in their 13, 14, 15, I knew they were sexually active. They're two sons, and they're now in their late 20s or early 30s. I would leave all my sexological body workbooks around, Fire in the Mountain, Fire in the Valley, all those videotapes around, very casually around, in case they should want to pick it up and learn something, And my children had a talk with me, and they Tyler and Spencer sat me down and said, Mom, you're such a good mom. And we really appreciate the fact that you want us to grow up to be sexually responsible adults. But can we make a special mom sex drawer where you put all the things in there and we can find it if we want it. And that way, when we bring our girlfriends over, they don't stumble over Joseph Kramer's Fire in the Mountain video. So I get it. I get it. And so, always dancing that line. The last story around that I'll tell you is, I don't know, not so horribly long ago, when my youngest in his early 20s, I was like, I could help. You've got a girlfriend. I could really support you and give you information.
Yeah.
He was like, Mom, maybe when I was 14, I would be open to that. And thank you. And if I need help, I know I can ask you for a referral. I was like, okay, my kids have boundaries.
Yeah.
Kids have boundaries. Anyway, back to sexual boredom. So, or not. I don't know if you want to move on from that, but really, I would just encourage people who are out there and who are watching and who think they have low libido and lack of desire to really explore the idea is that maybe you're just tired of your meals. I get tired of eating certain foods, and I love to eat. And so, maybe you need to do something that's funny or different or exploratory, again, with yourself, for your own fun, for your own exploration, is something that you can bring into your relationships. Be a sexual adventurer. I mean, I'm still being a sexual adventurer. I can't wait to go on so I have this want to talk about not sexual boredom. I have this great idea. I've lost all my anal plugs. I love having visuals. I have this great idea about going on my exercise machine, with my plug.
Putting it on there?
Putting it in.
That is such a good idea.
Get on my exercise bicycle. I promise you, I'm not going to be bored. I'm not going to be bored. And I don't know what it would do for my libido, but I'm going to have my own little sexual adventures while I'm home. And this, you're allowed to cultivate your own curiosity, right? And you and I have been at this a long time. We can still find things,
right,
to stimulate our curiosity and keep our libido up and keep ourselves and our lovers and our partners not bored. You just
right.
can't depend on them. You know that song that Nora, is it Nora? I don't know the last name. She sings a song about waiting for her lover to come turn her on.
Oh,
Very
no,
popular.
yeah,
You're right. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for him to come, light my fire, turn me on. I'm like, baby, you're gonna be waiting a long time.
right,
You gotta light a little fire so he can find you.
yeah,
And these are different ways, and some of it's silly and some of it's not. Just go on to various sites and think to yourself, well, like, have I explored that? And I bet you'll find lots of things, even as old war horse sex educators. If we can find things that we haven't done, so can you.
yeah.
So what else do you want to talk about, Melissa? I think I've done everything I can do around sexual boredom. I don't know.
Yeah, when you were talking about sexual boredom, it also reminded me of a time in my life, even before I was a sex educator, where my libido went kind of low because the kind of sex I was having wasn't satisfying. It was very much about my partner, and I didn't have a lot of agency. Like, I didn't take my own power. So I was just kind of a part of it and letting the boredom and letting the things kind of happen instead of really honing it in. And so I don't know if anyone else feels that way that's watching. Maybe you're in a partnership or maybe you're on Tinder every night, it doesn't matter, but are you having the kind of sex and exploration that you really want? And is it the kind of pace that you want? Is it, are you being touched and engaged in a way that actually feels good, or are you going along with someone else's pleasure and it's not really, you're not speaking up for it?
That's so hard for people. I mean, we talk a lot about voice and choice, right? Mm-hmm. It's very vulnerable.
Yeah.
To actually speak your desires.
Yeah.
Because there's the fear that we'll be laughed at, or they won't want it, or once I tell my partner, right, that I really want to wear a doggy bag, right? They'll know I want to wear a doggy bag. And what if that grosses them out? Or what if that is not sexy for them? And then they're always going to know that I want to wear a doggy bag. So I think we have fears that way. If we share that we want to be spanked, or that we want, to be tied up or blindfolded or whatever it is, that if we tell our partners this, that they might think we're strange, and then it's out. Like, you can't take it back.
Right.
And so it takes a lot of safety. And I think that working with practitioners, people that you're not in relationship with, containers, like your private work, Melissa, or your work with us at Back to the Body, allows women and the Apollo Project men space to share these deeper dark chocolate, I love to call it dark chocolate fantasies.
I love it.
With somebody that they're not in relationship with. So they can practice. How does it feel? What's the reaction of my fantasy or my hunger with the practitioner? Like, did they fall over and faint because I said I wanted to wear the doggy bag? Or did they think that was sweet and funny and let's play with that? And then you develop confidence. You develop a sexual self-confidence. And then you could be more brave when you leave these kinds of containers, to be able to bring it to your partner or to your date.
Right. So this was when you started getting sessions from other sexological body workers and providers early on. That's kind of what prompted this book. Is that correct?
Yes. That's what prompted my whole change of life.
Yeah. Do you want to share maybe what was some of the openings for you in those earlier sessions that just blew your mind?
It's getting hot in here, Melissa.
Yeah.
It's getting so hot. You know, it was so much about not being bored. It was so much about wanting erotic adventure in my life, but not wanting to cheat on my man. Because when I was doing this, Shameless was published in 2011. So I was doing a lot of these explorations around 2007, 8, 9, 10 in there. You know, we didn't have fancy words like consensual non-monogamy. We didn't have fancy words like
They didn't, what didn't exist back then?
no, they might have, but you know, where I lived in Riverdale, in the Bronx, where lots of people live, you know, in the middle of Wisconsin or wherever the heck people are living. If you're not living in San Francisco, you know, with Dossie Easton and Janet Harding, and you know, back in those days, polyamory wasn't a word you heard at the PTA meeting. You know, this was not at Little League. Okay. What we had was affairs and cheating. That was the two categories. And you know, a lot has changed in 10 years. A lot has opened up. Social media has moved our culture along so fast. And so when I was beginning my explorations, most of my girlfriends were very involved in extramarital affairs. Interesting, the women, not the men, the women were involved. I mean, yes, they were with men, but you know, these were, you know, everyday ladies wanting more than what was in their marriages. And so I wanted to be a sex goddess too. They were so happy and chat, swing their hands, and they were all embodied, and I was like, you know, where do I get this? And I have to say, maybe this is between you and me, Melissa. And
okay, just between you and I.
Like everything I've learned about sex, I think I've learned from gay men. Okay. Thank you, gay men, my brothers out there. You know, people say to me that I'm their scout. Well, let me tell you, my scout are my gay brothers, because they're the ones who led me, who taught me, who showed me what was available in safe containers. And I found through my gay masseur, he wasn't offering happy endings. Okay, this was at a spa. You read about it in the book, like chapter 1 or 2, it's like right up front. And he was telling me about these massages he would get and about these experiences with sacred intimates.
Wow.
Sexological body workers. And I would be like, you do this on a massage table? And like, they touched you, but you didn't touch them back. And like, you didn't have to sex with them and like break your marriage vows. And he was like, oh no. And I was like, I almost knocked this poor guy unconscious. I was like, you must tell me, where'd you get this?
Show me.
Right, show me. So, you know, for men, and I don't care what your orientation is as a man, straight, bisexual, gay, you can get anything. When it comes to sex, it's like you could get Genghis Khan's twin daughters delivered to your home. Okay, like no problem. It's available for you, because you're a man. Okay, if you were a woman 10 years ago, it was as dry as a desert. There was nothing. Okay, now there's lots now. When I was doing this, there was nothing. And so I did what any self-respecting Girl Scout would do. I followed the trail to Men for Men massage.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah, because the gay boys had this all wrapped up.
Uh-huh.
And I did my research. I was like a little erotic Sherlock Holmes. Woo! Sacred intimacy, body electric. I started to key in to these key words, sexological body work. So I would oh, he has all these words. That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I would write to these guys and I'd be, hi, I'm Pamela Madsen, and I'm 42 and I'm married and I was a virgin, and I don't want you to do anything to me that you don't want to do. And I'm very curious about this like Taoist erotic massage thing. And I got all kinds of responses, and by the way, I wasn't bored then. My libido was like cooking. I was on a sexual adventure, and they can read my book. I had all kinds of adventures until I found somebody who really took me under their wing and introduced me to the world of one-way touch and allowed me to say the things that I could never say to my husband, or maybe even to myself. When he would build relationship with me and call out from me. So Pamela, like, what is it that you think about when you touch yourself? Like, what are your fantasies? Like, what do you like to read about? And I was like,
no one's ever asked you that before at that point.
No. And he called that out and had my first spanking. And it was terrifying and wonderful and freeing. And, really put me on this path. And I was really shepherded at that point in my life by these extraordinary, loving and giving gay men who helped me find me. And now, 10 years later, so much has changed and there's so much available. And people don't have to be, having an adventure with strangers and taking chances. And there's lots of curated, well-respected containers where people can come and feel safe and drop their hypervigilance and explore themselves and know that there are ethics and that they're going to be held with caring and respect. And you don't have to look that far. It's like right here that the two of us are offering that. So it's available. And what's also true is women are now talking. Do you know, Melissa, when you hear something amazing?
Yes.
The 2022 Back to the Body retreats, our full year is sold out.
That's what I heard.
The full year is sold out with a waiting list right now. We opened up January 2023. It's sold out. We're putting the rest up. And so don't get worried, ladies. We're going to get you in. We're getting stuff up. We're working really hard to expand, to make room for people. Got to talk to you, Melissa. I got some dates for you to help coordinate. We got to get on the phone. So the women are alive now. It's available. They are breaking out of their story of low libido and boredom. They are finding their own sex adventures. And they're showing up. And guess what? They're not asking permission. They're not asking permission. And many of them have boyfriends or girlfriends or husbands.
Yeah.
They're very supportive of them going and having these experiences and expanding themselves and then being able to bring it back to their marriages. And we have women right now. I mean, you also work with Apollo. We have couples right now where the women are going to Back to the Body and the husbands are going to the Apollo Project. I mean, how cool is that? And then they're doing a couples retreat. There is so much available now. It's so different when I was doing this.
And we're also in a special position too, at least with the Apollo team and Back to the Bodies, because there's a lot of crossover with a couple practitioners. And so it's like we're holding the whole container for everybody, and they love that.
They do love that. Yes, yeah. Because as you said, there's a lot of crossover in staff, even though they're two different organizations. They're kind of like kissing cousins. And so, you may find, Melissa at Back to the Body and at the Apollo Project. And so the wives and the husbands are working with similar people and then can share their experiences and have their own experiences separately.
Yeah.
Because you know what? We're not a merged candle. It's a very romantic idea. The two candles will light and we shall be one flame.
We'll burn exactly the same.
Yes, forever and ever. And ever, and ever, and forever. And then we weren't meant to live this long, Melissa. I mean, that's also a part of the problem. Let me just explain, okay? People just died younger. Marriages, you died in childbirth, tuberculosis, the Great Plague. Now we have COVID. That helps a little. But, we weren't meant to. I'm just being really, really bad. So forgive me, people.
You are being a naughty guest right now.
I was watching Margaret Chow last night. Comedy is just not politically correct. But what's true is I've been married 40 years. That's not natural. That's not natural. And I probably, because we got married so young, my husband and I may be like on like the Today Show, the people that were married for 100 years. They wheeled it out in the chair with the jam, the Smucker's jam.
I haven't seen that episode.
On the Today Show, they would celebrate, and she is 100 years old today. And they've been married for 75 years, and don't they look happy, folks? And so it's like really hard to maintain a level of erotic aliveness.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing for 75 years with somebody. And it doesn't mean that your marriage is broken or that you don't love your partner or that you want to leave your partner because you want to explore yourself erotically. And I think that's really the next stage for everybody out there, is this understanding that you can stay in your marriage and develop yourself erotically and shift your marriage or have safe, contained experiences separate from your marriage that doesn't involve a romance.
Right.
That doesn't involve a love affair.
Right.
That can help you keep your libido, your eroticism alive, and then you can still get home in time to cook dinner.
Yeah.
And nobody's getting hurt. And in fact, you're fighting less.
Mm-hmm.
You're happier. I just think that we're living at a different time. And the rules need to change just a little bit. And I'm not talking necessarily about polyamory or consensual non-monogamy. I'm talking about creating space in relationships. Like we create space to go to the gym or go have yoga, right? Your partner isn't like, oh my God, you're going to the gym?
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. Are you still gonna love me when you get back? Like we should like have sexological body work, like massage envy at every corner.
Absolutely.
People can go and have their experiences and their explorations and be able to then come home. Mm-hmm. and develop safety in their marriages, in their relationships, where that their sexuality belongs to them. The body belongs to you. And then you choose to share it with your partners. Am I just going off into too many tangents today?
I love it. I love it.
Back to my dog bit.
Yeah, get back to that dog bit. I love that you spoke to that because, sure, we can go off, we meaning, a lot of clients and people that I work with. And, you can go off, you can go on Craigslist, you can follow the novelty, or you can, interact with people that are trained in holding the container and keeping you safe, and also that it's not all entangled and blurry and poor boundaries. You can actually show up and just really make it about you, and then leave feeling really good, and then take that energy home with your partner, or save it for when you have your Tinder date or whatever. Again, it doesn't matter what kind of relationship.
Just feel good.
Yeah, just feel easy and connected. And
right,
we are definitely in different times now. Yeah.
And I think the world is catching up to that. I mean, the fact that the Back to the Body retreats are sold out this year, and by the way, we have privates, and Melissa's working with us in privates as well. And
do you want to share a little bit, just like a little sample of what would a private, say there's a couple or that
wants to do a private retreat? Sure.
Yeah.
So the Back to the Body basic retreats is a group of 8 to 12 women with usually almost as many practitioners.
Yeah.
Holding the container in various exotic locations and with different themes, and they're quite beautiful. And women tend to go to between 3 and 5 retreats, some more. And then during COVID, we developed room service, which was created really, as a stopgap for our company and to support people who were frightened of being with other people during COVID, to have private retreats. And it's first started out with women coming and working with a female and male practitioner. We always do that. Like, we never work alone for the safety of the clients and for the safety of our practitioners. And then we have couples who come and work in teams. And usually it's a 3-5 day couples retreat. We work all around the country, usually in like really beautiful Airbnbs, like in Palm Springs. They could be anywhere. We just finished a private in Costa Rica that we tagged on to something else that we were doing. And we have various teams that are working with women and couples. It's not just me. And though I often work with a gentleman, Court Fox, and you are available to work with Tim Weaver, and Christy also works with Tim Weaver, and Cosmo works with me, and he also works with his wife, Kasia, and who knows, maybe you at some point, and Ron also works with Kasia, and so everybody, and Barry's available in New York to work with me and some of the other female practitioners. And that is something that is through Back to the Body under our ethics and under our auspices, and allows people who want a small environment to do private work. And many of our people are doing both.
Right.
They're doing private retreats, they're doing women's privates, and they're doing couples privates, and then they're going to retreats, and they're going to Apollo, and they're going to Back to the Body. And these couples are so committed to each other, and some of them have been married for 20 or 30 years, and they are on this. Yeah. I mean, they've decided that they want to be with each other, and they want to grow erotically together. And so, the changes and evolutions with these couples as individuals and together is amazing. So there's a lot people can do. There's a lot of offers.
And your staff is amazing. I mean, I know everybody, and I'm partial, obviously, but you've got psychotherapists involved. You've got, people that are just so gifted and hold such a beautiful container. It's impressive.
It is impressive, and they just get better. We're in a very unique position of having a tremendous amount of experience, because we have so many people coming through our doors. Our practitioners get a lot of practice, and we mastermind all the time, and we peer support all the time as teachers. We're always co-supervising and growing our own educational model. And so you don't have to go to M to M massage anymore, folks. You don't. Okay.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah. As much fun as that was for me. There are now specially curated. The other thing about privates is that they are curated for you. So let's say you're a woman or a couple, and you have an intake and you think this is what you want. And then you get to your retreat, maybe it's a 5-day private retreat. And, the team has met with you and has put together a plan for you, but something changes. Well, it's just about you. You're centered, right? And so the team is able to curate the curriculum just for you, because something will open and you'll go, oh, we were going to go do that. But you know what? We have all the time in the world. And we're going to go over here now because that's where you need to go. And that is the wonderful thing about the private retreats, is they are just for you. And, that's very special. And, I encourage people to, make a phone call, have a free consultation. The other cool part, and Melissa is a big part of this for us, is that we have a private community. And we have, as soon as you sign up for anything, whether it's the privates or the full-on retreats, you get free support groups. I don't know who's doing that, but we have free support groups once a week, pop-up workshops. And so we're constantly keeping your boredom at bay because we're stimulating and supporting, people's growth. This is something that you don't need to be alone. I think doing this alone is scary. And you need a team, you need people to support you and encourage you. And I think, Melissa, sometimes we're wacky, sexy soccer moms, we're like, yes, yes, you did that. And having a cheering section and people who love and support you through your erotic evolution is so important.
Yeah, and to know that you're also just not alone. I love every time we do the calls because it's people popping up from all over the world that get to share, this is what's really juicy for me. This is what's not so juicy. And it's just, everyone's very real, feels supported, and they're all coming with different things, but they can all generally relate. So
because they have shared experience.
Right.
They have shared experience. And I think that's what's so important, is to have people who are not going to judge you, who are excited to hear your stories, who are relating and having similar experiences as you're having. And I think that helps so much not to be alone, not to feel alone in this world that can feel so lonely. And I love that you're in my sphere and that we get to do this. It was so much fun, Melissa.
It's like sexy camp.
Yeah, and I showed you my butt plugs.
I love it. I think I'm going to go order one now. So if anyone missed the show, go back, watch the beginning. Pamela Madsen shared her butt plugs with everybody.
Oh, you know what they sent me? Look.
Sent you a lollipop?
Yes.
That's marketing. Good job.
Yes. The stockroom sent me a lollipop.
Stockroom. Great.
Yeah,
I got my vampire gloves.
Yep. They sent me that with my butt plugs, which I thought was so, and my bit.
Sweet. You got that on Stockroom.
I got this all at Stockroom. This and the silicone butt plugs in 3 sizes.
Okay.
So I have a hopeful asshole.
You've inspired me to also be a hopeful asshole. Hope Facebook doesn't kick us off for saying
We're saying hopeful asshole.
Yeah.
We mean it. Here, there, the Stockroom. There it is. There it is. We all have places in ourselves that are unexplored. the question is, you want to take that to your box?
Right.
You know what I mean? Jelly bean.
I do.
Or do you want to explore it
Mm.
now while you're alive? I'm pretty clear. I want to explore it while I'm alive, and I'm not burning down my house, and I'm not hurting my man, and I raised 2 beautiful sons. And you don't have to be an outlier. You don't need to be an outlier to have a full erotic life. You can still go to the PTA. They still have a PTA. I don't know. Somewhere.
They might call it something else now, but I get you.
You know, it's like, this is not a freak show. This is a life show. And this isn't only available to certain ages and certain bodies. And like, this is something that's available really for everyone. And if your story is that you're too old or you're too something, that's just a bullshit story to keep you stuck where you are. And when I see you the next time, you'll still be in that story. And the next time, and the next time. Or you could decide that you're ready to put down your bullshit story and plan your own abduction. I do it all the time. Don't you, Melissa?
I do.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Pamela,
thank you.
Yeah, you've always got such inspiring perspectives, and I just really love that about you. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Have we talked long enough?
We did it. So
Yay.
where do people find you? How do they find out about what you're doing in the world?
Oh, well, I can tell you where they can find me. So they can find me, first of all, on Facebook. I post a lot on Facebook because they let me write long things on Facebook. I'm on, and I've got the little blue check next to my name. So Facebook thinks I'm important enough that I'm verified.
Ooh.
And I'm on Instagram, and that's at the Pamela Madsen, where I also put up photos and interesting information. I really encourage people to go to the website, which is backtothebody.org. It's all the words, backtothebody.org. Get your name on the newsletter. First of all, you get free stuff right away. You'll get all this free yummies right away. And then you'll get in and you'll hear what's going on. And you'll find out about everything before it's gone. And that's wonderful. And I'm going to do one little plug. I've also started a sensation toy business. Did you know that?
Yes. Oh, yes. Share about that.
Yeah. And so that's Everybody Can Squirm. Because we love, and I should have the toys right here, and I don't. But you can visit the website, Everybody Can Squirm, or on Instagram. And Court Box and I are partnered around this company, Squirm. And they talk about not being erotically bored. You have the toys, Melissa?
I have some of them.
Okay. So we have claws.
We have little claws.
Little claws, and we have soft mitts. And it's called the Scratch and Tickle. And it helps you not be bored. And that's something that you could bring right into your life. And we have a holiday, a Valentine's, even though it's past Valentine's, gift box where you can get a beautiful little box filled with these sensation toys. And it's a wonderful way for you to not be bored, and that you don't have to take a course to learn how to play with the claws and the mitts. So easy. So check out some of the stuff. You know what? If you're bored, you're not paying attention. There is a lot out there. Melissa, you're amazing. I love what you're doing with the Body Joy School, your own things, how you participate with the Apollo Project. and how you are such an important part of the Back to the Body team. And thanks for spending time with me.
Yeah.
And allowing me to be silly.
Yeah, I love it. Oh my gosh. You've inspired me to get a bit and butt plugs. So your job is done.
Yay.
Yay. So anyone that's watching this, make sure you do check out backtothebody.org. And if you are also on the newsletter from Body Joy, if you need a link for that, that's in the description down below. And all people that sign up for that get the Invitation and Intimacy course, the first chapter. So thank you again, Pamela. You are a delight. Do you want to hop on the phone after this?
Actually, I do, because I have to tell you about the retreats.
Okay, great. Let's plan some fun. All right.
Okay.
All right. Thanks
Bye,
so much.
everybody.
Bye.